My name is Sarah Chen. I'm 28 years old, a software engineer, and 2 weeks ago, my mother handed me an invoice for $280,347.89. The subject line read, Cost of Raising an Ungrateful Daughter. I was at family dinner. My parents, my brother Derek, his wife Amanda, and me. We'd just finished eating when my mother pulled a manila folder from her purse and slid it across the table like she was serving a lawsuit. What's this? I asked. Open it. Inside was a 23-page spreadsheet, every year of my life from birth to 18, broken down by category: food, clothing, housing, medical expenses, even emotional labor, and lost career opportunities. At the bottom, total amount owed, $280,347.89. Below that, a payment plan, monthly installments of $2,500 for 8 years. Mom, is this a joke? Does it look like a joke? This is what you owe me. This is the price of everything I sacrificed for you. What I said next would expose a truth she'd hidden for 28 years, a truth that explained everything about why she resented me, why Derek was the golden child, and why this invoice had nothing to do with money at all. Before I tell you about the moment my mother's face went white as I revealed what I'd discovered, please like and subscribe if you're enjoying this story. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. And if you've been made to feel like you owe your parents for existing, type "not a debt" in the comments. You deserved unconditional love. Now let me tell you how we got here. Growing up, the difference between how my parents treated me versus Derek wasn't subtle. When Derek wanted piano lessons, they hired a private instructor. When I wanted art classes, they gave me dollar store crayons. When Derek made the soccer team, both parents attended every game. When I competed in debate regionals, my mother said she was too busy. "You're independent," she'd say. "You don't need us like Derek does." I learned independence because I had no choice. At 13, I won a full scholarship to a STEM camp. Everything covered. I was thrilled. "Absolutely not," my mother said, "but it's free." "Who's driving you? Who's paying gas? Everything has a cost, Sarah. You only think about yourself." I didn't go. That summer, Derek went to basketball camp 2 states away. My parents drove him, stayed in a hotel, attended his showcase. The pattern was clear. Derek was the investment. I was the drain. High school was worse. I had straight A's, 3 clubs, a part-time job. Derek had C's, played video games, no job. Guess who got praised? "Derek is so social," my mother would say. "He enjoys life, unlike some people who only care about grades." When college applications came, I got into MIT with a full scholarship. Everything covered, plus a living stipend. My mother's reaction: "Boston is so far. Why can't you go to state like a normal person?" When Derek applied 2 years later with mediocre grades, my parents hired an expensive consultant, paid for SAT prep. He got into state with no scholarships. They threw him a party. When I got into MIT, my mother said, "I hope you're happy being thousands of miles from your family." I went anyway. Best decision I ever made. For 4 years, I was around people who valued intelligence, who celebrated achievement instead of resenting it. I graduated summa cum laude, got a job at a major tech company, starting salary, $120,000. I called to tell my parents, "That's nice, honey. Derek needs resume help. Can you look at it?" I moved to San Francisco, got promoted twice, built a life I was proud of. Then the requests started. "Sarah, can you send Derek $200? He's short on rent." "Sarah, Dad's car needs repairs. Can you chip in $500? "Sarah, Derek's laptop broke. Can you buy him a new one?" Over 3 years, I sent $15,000 for various emergencies. I tracked it because I needed proof it was real. Derek was 26, living at home, working part-time retail, but I was the selfish one for living in San Francisco. 6 months ago, I brought my boyfriend, Michael, home for Thanksgiving. My mother spent the entire weekend making comments about his teacher salary, asking when he'd get a real job, joking about me being the breadwinner. Michael said afterward, "Your family doesn't respect you at all." We broke up 2 weeks later. When I called my mother upset, she said, "What did you expect? You probably emasculated him with your salary. Men don't like women who make more." Something in me broke. I started therapy. Dr. Lisa Wong was the first person to use the word scapegoat about me. Family systems assign roles, she explained. Golden child, scapegoat. Once set, they're hard to break. Why me? We'll explore that. But Sarah, this isn't about you. You didn't deserve this treatment. I started setting boundaries, stopped sending money, limited calls. My mother escalated, more requests, more guilt trips, more comparisons to Derek, who actually cared, and then came the dinner, the invoice. I stared at the spreadsheet, hands shaking. Birth and infancy, $15,420. Childhood, $62,890. Adolescence, $89,340. High school, $112,697.89. Categories included emotional labor, missed career opportunities, opportunity cost of parental focus. You're insane, I said quietly. Excuse me? This is insane. You're billing me for eating food as a child. I'm billing you for 18 years of sacrifice you never acknowledged. I've sent you $15,000 in 3 years. That's nothing compared to what I spent. You chose to have children. You don't get to invoice me 28 years later. My father cleared his throat. Maybe we should calm down. Did you know about this? I turned to him. He looked away. She mentioned wanting you to understand sacrifices. So you knew. Something broke inside me. You both think I owe you $280,000 for existing. You owe us respect, my mother snapped. You owe us gratitude. I've given everything. I've tried for 28 years to make you proud. Because you're selfish. You live your fancy life while we struggle. You struggle because you support Derek. He's 26 in your basement rent-free. Don't talk about your brother that way. Why not? Where's his invoice? Because Derek is grateful. Derek doesn't act like he's better than us. I never acted better. I just wanted you to be proud. Proud? She was shouting. You want me proud that you abandoned us, that you make me feel worthless with your perfect life? There it was, the truth. This isn't about money, I said slowly. This is about resenting my success. You're not successful. You're lucky. You had opportunities I never had. Because you had me at 24. I had you because... She stopped. Silence. Because what? She sat down, face pale. Because what, Mom? My father touched her arm. Helen, don't... Because I didn't have a choice. The words burst out. I got pregnant, couldn't have an abortion, had to drop out of grad school. You ruined everything. Complete silence. You ruined my life, she continued, crying. I was getting my MBA. I was going to have a career. Then I got pregnant with you and it all ended. You took everything before you were even born. I couldn't breathe. 28 years of questions answered. So that's why you've always hated me. I don't hate... Yes, you do. I represented everything you lost. I gave up everything for you. I didn't ask you to. I was a baby. My father stood. That's enough, Helen. Enough. She needs to understand. No. His voice was firm. Sarah doesn't need to understand anything. This invoice is insane. You can't bill our daughter for being raised, and you can't blame her for choices we made 28 years ago. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands. Since we're sharing truths, I have something to show you. I'd been researching. After therapy, Dr. Wong suggested looking into family patterns. I'd found screenshots, documents, emails from an old family computer. Derek, did you know Mom was planning this invoice? He shifted. She mentioned it. I said it was a bad idea. But you didn't warn me. Did you know how much money I've sent home? Some. Did you know most didn't go to emergencies? It funded your lifestyle while you lived rent-free? His face flushed. Did you know that laptop for work became your gaming computer? That Dad's car repair paid your credit card? My mother went still. I held up my phone. I have every text, email, receipt. I documented everything in therapy. I swiped through screenshots. Here's you saying Derek needs rent money. Here's my Venmo. Here's Derek's Instagram that week, showing his new gaming setup. That's not... Here's $800 for a family emergency. Here's Derek's Facebook about his Vegas trip. Derek's face was red. Amanda stared at him. I've been funding his life while you called me ungrateful, I said. I pulled out my own folder. You want to bill me $280,000? Here's my counter invoice. Emotional damages for 28 years of scapegoating. $500,000, Therapy costs $15,000 and counting. The $15,000 I sent under false pretenses returned with interest. I slid it across. Inside was documentation of every instance of favoritism, every double standard, every false accusation. I've also documented fraud. You said money was for emergencies. It was for Derek's entertainment. I could pursue legal action. My mother's face went white. You wouldn't. Try me. Send another bill. Ask for more money. Tell anyone I owe you anything. And I'll file a lawsuit. I stood. I'm done. Done trying to earn love from people who decided I'm not worthy. Done funding Derek. Done being the scapegoat. Sarah, please, my father started. Dad, you had 28 years to stand up for me. Tonight you finally did. But it's too late. I looked at my mother. You want to know what I owe you? Nothing. Children don't owe parents for being raised. That's called basic parenting. I gave you everything. No, you gave Derek everything. You gave me scraps and called it generosity. You gave me criticism and called it motivation. I picked up my purse. I'm leaving. Don't contact me. Don't ask for money. I'm done. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret is not doing this 10 years ago. I walked out and didn't look back. The next weeks were chaos. My mother called 23 times the first day. I didn't answer. She sent emails, texts, enlisted relatives. I blocked them all. Derek called once. Mom's devastated. Can you apologize? For what? Defending myself? Amanda called separately. I didn't know. About the money. We're moving out. My father sent one email. Sarah, I understand why you left. I should have protected you. I should have stood up years ago. You don't owe us anything. You never did. I'm proud of you. Dad. I cried reading it, but I didn't respond. 3 months later, I'm building a life without them. Got promoted, started dating someone who celebrates my ambition, joined a chosen family who actually supports me. Derek and Amanda moved out. He got a full-time job. She said seeing that dinner was their wake-up call. My mother sent one message 3 months later. I've been in therapy. My therapist says I projected my regrets onto you. I owe you an apology. I'm not ready yet, but I'm trying to understand. Mom asterisk, I didn't respond. Maybe someday. But now I'm focused on healing. I'm learning I don't have to earn love, that my worth isn't determined by what I provide, that family isn't an excuse for abuse. The best thing I did was refuse to pay that invoice. Because I don't owe them anything. Not money, not gratitude, not endless forgiveness. I owe myself the love they never gave me. And I'm finally ready to provide it. If this resonated with you, type "not a debt" in the comments. You don't owe anyone for being born. Like and subscribe for more stories about choosing yourself. Thank you for being here, for